we've got our first one. Hi, Erin. We're just going to wait for a few more people to log in before we start.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. More people are logging on.
Yay.
We'll give it a couple of minutes. I think when we hit 10, we'll start. Or 5 minutes past, whichever comes first. Evening, everyone. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes for a few more attendees to log in. There we go. Hit our 10. We'll start. Good evening, everyone. My name's Nico. I'm the Managing Director of Global Education. I'm sure quite a few of you already know the speech because you've logged into a few of the other webinars that we've done. As you know, we're the local agency for about 400 universities worldwide. On your screen, you can see all the services that we provide. Obviously, the University of Westminster is one of the universities that we work with. And Maggie from the university has kindly decided to be part of the webinar for us. And she's going to talk a little bit about the uni and what they have to offer. Just a little bit of housekeeping rules. Please can you keep all your questions in the Q&A section. I'll answer them in the background as best I can. And then at the end of Maggie's presentation, we'll have a little discussion and talk about, I'll ask all the questions to Maggie and she can answer from the university's perspective. And it also gives you time to ask follow-up questions. So it's going to be a bit of an interactive session there at the end. Maggie, I'll hand over to you now.
Great, thank you so much, Nico. Let me share my screen first. Right, I hope you can all see the screen now. So hello and welcome everyone to the University of Westminster session at the Global Education Virtual Expo. Thank you all for coming. My name is Maggie Brown and I will give you an overview of the University of Westminster. So I'll talk about our history, what we stand for. I'll talk about our facilities. I'll also talk about entry requirements for students from South Africa and Zimbabwe. I'll talk about fees and funding, accommodation, support services, and afterwards, like Nico mentioned, we'll have some time for you to ask questions. So let me tell you a little bit about the university. University of Westminster first opened in 1838 as London's first polytechnic and became a university in 1992. And our patron is Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II. I would say one of the most important things to know about us is that University of Westminster is a very international university. We have over 19,000 students from 150 nations and over 5,000 students from outside of the UK. We have ranked 6th in the UK and 20th in the world for International Outlook by Times Higher Education ranking. And we're also ranked among the top 15 most international universities in the world for the percentage of international students. We have spent more than 60 million on refurbishing our campuses recently, and I will tell you about our facilities later on. We are second in London for hospitality, leisure and tourism, first in London for land and property management, third in London for marketing and for architecture, and 31st in the world for communication and media. What I think is also quite important to you is that over 84% of all Westminster graduates are in work and or further study. We are based in the heart of London and the very center of the city. We're very close to several international airports, so it'll make it easier for you to travel home or travel and explore Europe once we're all allowed to do that. And in London, we have a really great public transport network. So even though it's a big city, you can get around very easily, especially across our 4 campuses. So you can see on the map here that 3 of them are very close to each other in the very center of London, about 10 to 15 minute walk from each other. And we also have one more campus about a little bit further away in Harrow, which is about 20 minutes away on the tube from the city centre. So you can see here on the underground map here how well connected all of the campuses are as well. Do bear in mind that if you become a student at University of Westminster, you'll usually be taught in one of the campuses, but you will have access to all of the facilities. So what most students will probably mention when talking about being a Westminster student is how great it is to be studying and living in London. London has ranked as the #1 best student city in the world quite a few years in a row now. And because we are situated in London, we have really great industry links. London is the financial and creative capital of the world with, I believe, over 1 million businesses operating in close proximity to the university. What is also really great about being in London is all the great landmarks. You'll get to see like Big Ben, London Eye, Buckingham Palace, and many, many others. And the majority of museums and galleries in London are free, so we can do plenty of sightseeing when you're not studying or working. And despite being a big metropolis, London is actually very green. We have around 3,000 parks, and about 40% of the city is green. So there is always something to do, and there's plenty of cultural events to attend. So you will never really be bored in London. Now let me tell you a little bit more about our faculties and the campuses that they are based at. So starting with the Cavendish campus, which is home to the School of Computer Science and Engineering, the School of Life Sciences and School of Social Sciences. So over there you'll find courses like biomedical sciences, biosciences, computer network engineering, games computing, nutrition, and psychology. So on that campus, there's 2 floors of labs for all of the courses in the School of Life Sciences. And you also find computer labs for the School of Computer Science and Engineering. And there's also a lot of really great recently refurbished social spaces on that campus as well. And then about a 10-minute walk away, we have our Regent Street campus, which is our oldest. And that one is home to the School of Humanities and School of Social Sciences. So over there, you'll have courses like criminology, English, history, language, linguistics, politics and international relations, visual culture, and also law. And then our Marylebone campus, which is located on the famous Baker Street, which is home to the School of Architecture and Cities and the Westminster Business School. So on this campus, we teach architecture and interiors, planning and urban design, property and construction, tourism, transport, but also accounting, finance and economics, business and management, and marketing. And on those 2 photos here, you can see our Bloomberg Financial Market Suite, which is a state-of-the-art teaching and research resource. It uses technology that is widely adopted in all of the leading global investment banks and the major financial centers of the world, like City of London or New York's Wall Street. So if you study any finance-related subjects at the Westminster Business School, you'll have access to this facility. And the other photo is one of our architecture studios, which we have 2 floors of on that campus. We also have a fabrication laboratory, construction laboratories, and a huge underground gallery, which we use for architecture and for art exhibitions. And finally, our Harrow campus, which is our biggest, and that one is home to the Westminster School of Arts and the Westminster School of Media and Communication. And so over there, you'll study all the different creative courses like art and design, fashion, television, film, journalism, music, and photography. So like I mentioned, that is our biggest campus, and it's because it's mostly workshop studio spaces. So we have 2 big TV and film studios, fashion studios, and sound studios. So this is where we teach all of the different creative courses, and we have some really, really amazing facilities over there. Now, moving on to what is one of our core values, I would say, which is professional focus. I would say the majority of our courses are accredited by different professional bodies. We are very practically focused as a university, and we want to make sure that our graduates are prepared for their professional careers. So you can see some of the professional bodies on this slide, like the Institute of Biomedical Science, Solicitors Regulation Authority, or the Institute of Direct and Digital Marketing, for example. So you can also find information about course accreditation and all the different individual course pages on our website. And now let's move on to entry requirements for students from South Africa and Zimbabwe. So just to go over the standard entry requirements to a bachelor's degree, we would usually be looking for a national senior certificate with matriculation with grades 66655. Some of the disciplines might require higher grades. Again, I would recommend having a look on the course pages. We also accept senior certificates, and some students do go for the International Foundation course as well. Normally for that, we look for between 60 to 65%. And then for entry to most of our master's courses, the ones that would require 2 equivalent grade, we would be looking for a bachelor's degree with a minimum of 60% from a recognized South African institution. And for masters that require a higher grade of 2-1, we'd be looking for about 70 to 74% from a bachelor's degree. And for students from Zimbabwe, again, the recommended or the qualifications we usually accept would be either A-levels or International Baccalaureate, or we also accept the General Certificate of Education, advanced level, or the National Diploma with usually a minimum pass grade of 60, or the higher National Diploma as well with 60% minimum. And again, we also accept International Foundation courses as well from UK institutions. Then for entry to our master's courses, we'd be looking for a minimum of a bachelor's degree with the upper second division, so between 60 to 64% from a recognized university. And for masters that require high grade, we'd be looking for a minimum of 65 to 74% from your bachelor's degree. In terms of English language requirements, for most of the undergraduate courses, we would be looking at an IELTS of 6.0 with a 5.5 minimum in all different components. And for most of the postgraduate courses, we'd be looking for an IELTS of 6.5 overall with a minimum of 6.0 in writing. So because of the pandemic, we have started accepting more different English language qualifications, a lot of the ones that you can actually take at home, because I know a lot of the test centers have been closed. For example, the TEFL Special at Home Edition or IELTS Indicator. We do have a full list of the different English language qualifications we accept on our website, so definitely take a look. In terms of fees, for undergraduate courses, the tuition fee for next year will be £14,400 per year. And for postgraduate courses, fees vary between £12,500 to £22,000. And do please remember that international students need to pay a £4,000 deposit in order to secure their CAS, in order to secure their visa later on. And that is then deducted from your fees. Students can usually pay by installments. So usually we would be asking for 50% at enrollment and then further 25% in December and 25% in January. In terms of living costs, we estimate it takes about £1,100 to £1,200 per month minimum, which would include housing, transport, food, basically all of your living costs, really. So University of Westminster offers part fee scholarship opportunities for international students. And we offer those at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. I believe that for September 2021, we will be offering £2,000 part fee scholarships. And that works as a fee reduction from the first year's tuition fees. And the scholarships are only available to students holding an offer of study from the University of Westminster. So you do first need to apply for the course that you're interested in, receive an offer, and then you can apply for the scholarship. And in terms of how scholarships are awarded, we look at applications based on academic excellence, development potential, and financial need. So the information about September 2021 scholarships will be made available on our website by the end of this month. So do please take a look then. And the likely deadline for the September Part V scholarship applications will be around May this year. Now, let's move on to accommodation. There are several options for student accommodation. Prices range from about £129 to £271 per week. The price depends on location of the accommodation and the type of the room as well. So you can get a shared room or a room to yourself, which always comes with a bathroom and a shared kitchen and living space. So accommodation is not guaranteed. However, we do prioritize our international students. And I believe that you can usually apply for accommodation from April onwards, but the sooner you apply, the better if you are trying to secure university accommodation. Also, apart from the university accommodation, our accommodations team does offer help and advice when it comes to finding private accommodation as well, if you didn't want to live in university halls. And there are lots of options in London depending on your location preferences and your budget. So studying for a degree obviously means a lot of hard work, but there's also quite a bit of time to relax and enjoy yourself. So when you enroll at the university, you automatically become a member of the University of Westminster Students' Union. And that is an independent organization that is run by students, and there are 4 students. So they're there to represent your needs as a student, to protect your rights, and to make sure that your voice is heard, basically. And the Students' Union runs plenty of different societies, sports teams, and clubs that you can join. And the union is also home to a range of themed clubs and societies, but also the Smoke media, so Smoke magazine, Smoke radio, and Smoke TV, if you wanted to get involved in those as well. We do also offer paid employment opportunities, so you can sign up to our talent bank. We also have a student ambassador scheme when you can work during different university events and show new students around. We do also offer volunteering opportunities, so in terms of the different activities that you could get involved with. We do also have a career development center. So over there, you can have your CV looked at, and it can be adjusted for the relevant job market. They do also offer interview preparation. So if you do become a University of Westminster student, I would highly recommend making an appointment at the Career Development Centre, especially if you're thinking about your next steps seriously. And as a university, we can help secure an internship or a work placement for you as well. For master's students, this would usually be something that's done over the summer. Whereas for undergraduate students, this can range from a 6 to 12-month work placement. We do also hold regular graduate career fairs where you can meet a lot of prospective employers from companies all over London. I know last year we actually held a graduate career fair because of the global situation, but it was a great success. And also, let's not forget about the graduate route visa that is coming into place for students who commence the studies this year as well. So for those of you who are interested in sports, we do have a lot of different sports facilities that you can use. We have a gym at our Regent Street campus. And apart from the usual gym equipment, they also offer classes. So you can sign up for yoga or boxing between your lectures. At our Harrow campus, we have a sports hall and a gym. We do also have the Chiswick Sports Ground, where you can find big pitches for football, hockey, rugby, cricket, tennis, netball, and lacrosse. Another quite important thing to mention, I think, is that we offer a lot of different support services. When you arrive, there will be a week for enrollment and orientation when you get your student card and get to meet your course leaders. We do also offer an international welcome program that usually takes place about a week before your enrollment and orientation. And during that program, you'll have a series of different talks and workshops where you'll learn all the necessary things about living in London. So how to access healthcare, how to get your Oyster card for the underground, safety tips for living in a big city, and many other things. We do also offer pre-sessional and in-sessional academic English courses to help with your academic English. And every student has access to a different range of different student support services. So specialist visa advice, academic learning development, the Career Development Centre, counselling services, and disability learning support, among many other support services available at the university. So how to apply? So you apply for our courses on the UCAS website. Our university code is W50. The UCAS deadline for undergraduate courses was on the 15th of January, but please don't worry. So you can still apply for undergraduate courses now and for quite a few months still. So the UCAS deadline is just a deadline by which all applications need to be given equal consideration, but we are still accepting undergraduate applications. And for postgraduate courses, there isn't really a firm deadline to apply. However, you do need to bear in mind the student visa process. So I would advise for you to apply about 3 months before you start your studies at the very, very latest. And I would also like to invite you to our upcoming virtual open days. So the undergraduate open day will take place on the 13th of March, and the postgraduate online open evening will take place on the 24th of March. So you can register for the online open days on our website. Got a link here, but if you go to westminster.ac.uk, it will be on the main page as well. So that is usually a really good place to go in and have a look at the different taster lectures, check out the different talks and virtual campus tours. So why choose the University of Westminster? We have vibrant state-of-the-art campuses and facilities that we keep investing a lot of funding into. Being in London, we have great industry links, our academic teaching excellence, the careers and employability support and opportunities that we offer, and the fact that we're in the heart of the greatest city in the world. So that is it for me in terms of the presentation, and I'd very much like to encourage you to get in touch with me if you have any questions, either now or afterwards as well. And you can do that directly or through Global Education, and they are very much here to help you with all the stages of your applications. And I highly recommend that you use their services. You can also drop me an email or arrange a video call, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions or link you up with the correct person at the university.
Awesome. Thanks, Maggie. I'm going to just put on the details 2 seconds on the screen. Let's change slides. There you go. Okay, everyone, so that's just our contact details if you'd like to start your application process. We are a registered UCAS center, so we can start the whole process via UCAS as well. So just shoot us an email, or you can call us tomorrow morning on that number and we'll start the process. Maggie, I'm just going to dive straight into the questions because there's quite a few that have popped up here. I'm going to go in order of as they came in. So one student wants to know, what is the application deadline for 2022 for an international student?
For 2022 for undergraduate, we don't know.
I'm assuming.
So usually for undergraduate students, the main UCAS deadline tends to be mid-January. So this year it was the 15th of January, but you can still apply afterwards. So if you're looking to start with us in September 2022, you can start applying from any time from, I believe, October this year. And I mean, it's always best to apply before the UCAS deadline, depending on the course that you're interested in. If it's a very popular course, you know, the places might fill up a bit faster, but we'll still be accepting applications until the summer as well. So, so until January if you can, but we still accept applications afterwards.
Perfect. Thanks, Maggie. Next question is from Munya, and he wants to know, he says, I'm interested in the Masters in Air Transport, and I currently hold a commercial pilot's license and have been employed, in the senior management for 4 years with an airline. Would my qualifications be enough?
Okay, oh, that's a really good question. I will have to say that I'll have to get back to you on that. I will have to check with the course leader for this particular course. So if you wanted to drop me an email, then I will be happy to double check with the course leader. Or you can, I'm sure I'll get your email as well with the question, so I'll be able to follow this up. But usually when it comes to, we do welcome, especially for our master's courses, we usually look for a first degree in a relevant field, but a relevant work experience does often tend to suffice as well. So I will have to double check with the course leader and I will get back to you.
I'll just add to this, Munya, if you send us an email, then we'll just put you guys directly in touch, and obviously you'll be able to get that answered. Next question is from Harishka. She says, I'm matriculating in December this year. Does that mean I have to apply next year in January or this year in September? So if you don't mind, I'll just answer this one quickly. Harishka, you can start the UCAS application now for next year, September. So we actually have done quite a few applications already for some students applying to Westminster. So if you just shoot us an email, we can get the ball rolling on that application. Next question is from Erin, and she wants to know, do you need mathematics to study criminology or sociology or psychology? Is maths literacy accepted for these?
So I don't believe you need a specific subject, particularly mathematics, to study either of those. So you should be fine with just the sort of required grades from non-specific subjects. I would say usually we require mathematics for things like biomedical sciences and so on, the sort of science subjects. But for courses like criminology or sociology, you don't need to have mathematics.
Awesome. The next question, I'm assuming maybe the student arrived late. It's anonymous, and they want to know how much is the tuition.
So for this upcoming September 2021 intake, undergraduate courses, the fees for international students are £14,400 per year. For master's courses, they can vary between £12,500 to £22,000.
Awesome. Thanks, Maggie. Next question is from a student in Zimbabwe. Nyasha wants to know, what happens if you do not have an honors degree from a Zimbabwean universities, as there are no one-year honors degree programs here? I'm assuming you'd like to apply for a master's, but I'm sure, I don't think he's sure if you can.
Right. I think we'd have to have a look at your specific degree and where you got it from, and your transcript and so on. Depends on the course that you're interested in as well. So if you have a particular course in mind, do please get in touch with Global Education, and you can pass us on your transcript and your degree certificate, and we can assess that.
Definitely. Next question is from Erin, and she wants to know, does Westminster offer education-related degrees?
So in terms of education, we don't do sort of the standard teacher training courses. We do a TEFL masters, so for teachers of English as a foreign language, but we don't do sort of strict education degrees, I'm afraid.
Okay. A question from Anonymous. Do you offer social work as a degree, and are there work placements?
So no, I'm afraid we don't offer social work as a degree, no.
Okay. Another question from Anonymous. What are the IEB requirements for undergraduate programs? So that I think you answered earlier in your presentation for the matriculation endorsement. So maybe you can just say those ones again.
Oh, yes, sure. Let me just quickly grab that as well. Just so I can go back and give you the correct, let's see. I can share my screen with you again if you wanted to see.
Sure. You should be able to just do a quick switch.
There we go.
Let me just stop mine for 2 seconds.
Let's see. Let's try again. Right, so going back to the qualifications here. If you have a National Senior Certificate with matriculation, we are looking for grades 66655. The Senior Certificate with matriculation endorsement with at least BBBCC.
Thanks, Maggie. Next question is from Dagmawe. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He wants to know, do you offer any graphic design programs?
Yes, we do offer graphic design programs. Are you looking for undergraduate or postgraduate?
Didn't specify, but I'm assuming undergrad.
But yes, yeah, we do offer a graphic design program.
Okay. Next student is saying that he fell short with his math requirements. He's got a D. He's willing to write an ACT or an SAT to boost his application. Would you advise this? He's from Zimbabwe, so I'm assuming he's done A-levels.
So I guess it depends what subject you're after, and I guess if it does bring down your average of required grades, then definitely try to redo it. But if you're applying for a course that specifically requires maths, then that would definitely be my advice. But if not, if you already have the required grades to pass, like I did mention, maths is not necessarily required for all of the courses. It does tend to be the science courses like biomedical, biotechnology courses that would require mathematics. But for the other ones, it's not really as crucial, I would say.
Thanks, Maggie. Next question is from Chiedza, and she wants to know, are there any joint degrees for humanities programs at undergraduate level?
So we do have some, particularly to do with international relations and politics. You can do international relations with a specific language, for example, as well. What we can't do is sort of join in two different courses together that don't already come as a joint degree, if that makes sense. But there are some courses that come sort of like double majors. So if you can let me know either now or later on what sort of subject areas you're interested in, and I can advise further.
Awesome. Nyasha's back with another question and wants to know, do I need to get O-level art in order to apply for a BA in fashion design? And also, is a portfolio and work experience required or needed for this application?
So their fashion design course, it's a little bit tricky because it's a very, I would say we have very strict requirements for that particular course. It's a very highly regarded course. It's one of the top 5 in the UK in terms of fashion design. So I think if you don't have sort of like a higher level of either A-levels or International Baccalaureate in art and design specifically, we normally do actually ask our students to have a foundation degree in art and design, as well as a portfolio, because it is quite a very, very competitive course at our university.
Awesome. Thanks, Maggie. Anonymous is back. I'm going to jump to the second question from Anonymous because you're already on the slide, or I think it's the next slide. The student wants to know, what are the general requirements for a Zimbabwean student? Oh,
yes, so I think I'm on the slide actually right now. So you can have a look here. So we do accept the standard qualifications like A-levels or International Baccalaureate, but we do also accept the General Certificate of Education Advanced Level or a National Diploma with a minimum pass grade of 60% or a Higher National Diploma as well with a minimum pass grade of 60% as well.
Awesome. And Anonymous's other question is, what are the main requirements for scholarships?
So the scholarship that we currently offer, which is the part fee scholarship of, I believe, £2,000. So that's sort of like a discount towards your fees. For that, we would have to have a minimum of, I guess it depends if it's for undergraduate or postgraduate. I know for postgraduate, it has to be a minimum of an equivalent of a 2-1. So around, 65, 75%. For undergraduate, I would have to double check, but it's it doesn't have to be the highest grades for that particular one, but we do also look for your financial situation and development potential. So there is one application form that you need to fill out and sort of touch upon all those 3 areas. Obviously, if you do get a big amount of applications for scholarships, which we do tend to do, we do tend to prioritize the students with the higher academic achievements. So yes, I think that answers that.
Perfect. Thanks, Maggie. And then the last question here is from a student who wants to know, do I need both physics and chemistry to partake in an engineering degree?
Right. So the only engineering degrees that we actually offer are software engineering and computer science. So we don't offer a wide variety of engineering degrees at our university. So for computer science and for software engineering, we don't require physics or chemistry. Depends really what sort of subject area within engineering you're looking for. We might not have it if you're looking physics and chemistry, but yes, do let me know.
Perfect. Thanks, Maggie. And one more from me. How are current students on campus coping with the whole COVID situation at the moment?
So since last September, we, as I think many other universities in the UK as well, had to make the tough decision to move quite a lot of the teaching online. So a lot of our students have been having online lectures since September. For the courses that have more practical elements and that require specialist facilities and equipment, when you're thinking about architecture, courses like that, or even biomedical sciences and so on, those students have been allowed to go back on campus, but we have employed a variety of different measures to try and keep our students and our staff safe. So the groups of students who are on campus or much smaller, I believe, just groups of up to 5, just to sort of make sure that there's no more than 6 people in the room at each time, sort of staggering the different timings, so there's not too many people on campus at each given time as well. Having hand sanitizing stations, marking the flooring to make sure that people move in a socially distanced, coordinated way, and so on. And for students that have been learning from home, our academic staff and supporting staff have been really working very hard to try and make sure that students are still having a good experience, as I guess tough as it is for everyone, to make sure that students stay connected through all the different online activities, and still can carry out their group work and connect with their fellow students, which I know that tends to be, I think, the hardest part for everyone, that being able to go out and make new friends in person. But having spoken to a lot of the different international students that we work with as well, everyone's trying the best to stay connected online. I know that also in terms of our accommodation, we have been providing a lot of support for new students who arrived from overseas and had to quarantine. Obviously, you don't really know the area, you're not able to go out. So we have been providing students with sort of startup care packages that contain all the basic necessities, like bedding and kitchen supplies and some food for new students who are arriving, who have to quarantine before they're able to go out and get all those things for themselves. So there's definitely, since we've had quite a bit of time now since September to try and come up with a lot of different measures and a lot of different new support systems to deal with that, and hopefully we now have a good hang of it, but hopefully things will get better for next September.
Thanks, Maggie, so much. I think we've had some really good questions tonight and some quite a bit of interest. So I'm just going to encourage everyone who participated, please send us an email. We can get those applications going. We can get Maggie to answer or get the admissions team to answer those very specific questions that were asked earlier. And yeah, enjoy your evening. And Maggie, thanks so much for being part of this.
Great, thank you so much.
And I wish you all the best. And hopefully the next time we do this, it'll be in person.
That would be great. I look forward to that.
Awesome. Thanks, Maggie. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
everyone
having
for
me.
attending. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Good night. Good night, everyone.